Anyway, that's this group. Effectively, 1 year later, the Greys arrived, led by the Eban, and Eisenhower didn't want to commit with them, but they anyway went behind Eisenhower and signed agreements with the Majestic 12, the Greater Treaty, and that's the day where humanity was sold out to this predator group. The treaty involves the Greys were saying, you give us facilities and you allow us to live underground your planet. You don't mind our business, we don't mind your business. It's kind of written like that nearly. And we give you technology, and in exchange you allow us to do abductions for our own needs. And that was signed. Anyway, there's more details to that. So that's the Eban. The Eban. Then this group, the Nebu, the Orion group, enslaving, using the Zeta Reticuli and blah, blah, blah. They are allied with other Greys from not Orion, other places. They form the Alliance of the Six. And in this Alliance of the Six, there are reptilians, but there are as well two types of Greys that are very involved with Earth. The Maitra, they are from Andromeda Galaxy, and they are nasty piece of because they are really hating humans, and they are the ones who are most active in abductions. They are tall Greys, they are very wrinkled, and they really hate us, and they really radiate hate, and they're very aggressive. It's like a tiger energy. They're really, really, really aggressive. And you understand that I don't like them. and then you have the Kiili Tokurt. Kiili Tokurt. They are from constellation Vela. They are tall Greys as well, but with white skin. So they look like Greys with white skin, and they have hair. Usually white hair. Some have black hair. It depends on the race. So like on Earth, different colors, hair and stuff. Kiili Tokurt. These ones, they are very interesting. I'm very interested to know about them. I'm studying them because they perform abductions, but they are not that nasty. The abductions they do, it's for genetic experiment, but they have no idea, no desire of domination, they are traders, and they experiment, they sell people, they do that. What's interesting with them is that they have a society totally similar to our society. And it's very interesting. They're not hive mind like all the Greys are. It's so interesting.
The Kiili Togurt?
Yeah.
That's interesting. I was reading I think it was in your book, and you were complimenting how they built their ships. So it's something with their ships that can manipulate the outside. Like the outside of it is kind of a, I can't explain it. Like I could picture it, but I can't explain it. But it's really cool. They seem to be really advanced when it comes to space flight.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about the about the Solipsirai.
Solipsirai, yes.
Yeah.
Solipsirai is very interesting because they are also Greys who don't have a hive consciousness. They are individual consciousness. They are small Greys. They have different features from the Zeta Reticuli. I don't know how to say that. They have more details on their face, paler skin. These ones, they're a bit cold as well. They don't care about dominion, or they do their business. They trade people and they do their genetic experiment. It comes from Cygnus, constellation Cygnus. I don't remember the name of their planet, but small Greys.
Isn't it Proma?
If you have my book, it's in it.
Yeah, I believe.
Yes, and they have a society. They have a king. I know they have a king. They don't have the hive queen like the other greys.
Oh, so theirs is not a.
It's not a
It's not
hive.
female. But
No,
it's not a hive.
no, it's not a hive. The Solipsirai. It's very rare to have greys who don't have a hive or not on a hive consciousness. It's very interesting.
Okay. Now there was because you mentioned the Eban,
Yes.
Eban, but there is also another gray species that is spelled Eben. So
Yes.
just in case somebody does decide to pick up your book, they're going to see that and they're going to go like, wait, what? I thought they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eben. I call them Eben.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I heard it. They're small greys and they're nice. I think they are from the Alpha Centauri system. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly. They are even smaller than the Solipsirai and Zeta Reticuli. They are even smaller. They're smallest that we know interacting with Earth. And they are very pacifist race, and they are part of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, and they assist. I know they work for the Council of Five, which is another positive organization helping, and they're nice little people. Yes, little people.
Now speaking of Council of Five, there is also another. I know people that this seems like a lot, but it's
Yeah, it is.
there. But
It is.
there's another species of gray. No, they're two. They're two. The Igoroth
Oh,
Aurella. Can you talk a
Aurella.
little bit the Aurella? Can
Yes.
can you talk about those two?
Yes, and the Ginvo as well are a type of gray. They
I
are gray
forgot about them.
related, the Ginvo, although they really look more human. So these are positive, benevolent, pacifist races of grays, cultures of grays,
Mm-hmm.
individual consciousness, and no hive. And so the Aurella. Oh my God, where do they come from already? I don't
I
remember. You have
believe.
my book.
Uh,
You have my book, or I may have a look.
I think it's an Ophiuchus.
Ophiuchus,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, if you say it. So these are greys who have individual consciousness. They are tall greys,
Mm-hmm.
and they have kind of a weird face, all with wrinkles everywhere, and big eyes, but they don't have black eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what comes interesting. It's funny because all the greys I know who are not on a hive consciousness, they don't have these black eyes. That's very interesting. Most of the black eyes, it's um, lens, a biometric lens that allows them to see in our light, because the hive mind greys strive on ultraviolet light. So anyway, the Aurella, they look like tall greys, a weird shape of skull.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I don't know how to, big, has nice clear eyes. I haven't seen an Aurella myself, but I think they have like kind of golden eyes, brown, clear brown or golden. If I remember well, what I was shown. Very nice people. Then the Egaroth, the Egaroth, they are really interesting because they have human features and they have brown skin. They are the greys with brown skin and same elongated skull. Their eyes are magnificent. Oh my God. It's like dark blue, indigo blue.
Mm-hmm.
The white is not white, it's blue, indigo. And the pupil is clear blue. So that's quite mesmerizing. It's really hypnotic. It's beautiful. On a brown skin, imagine. It's magnificent. And a small nose, very small, small mouth,
Mm-hmm.
small ears, thin, tall, and they radiate love. They're amazing. Angaroth. They're from two star systems, originally from Alnilam, a central star of the Orion belt that they call Zagara. And there's a big colony of them who migrated to Mesa, another star system in the Orion zone. When you look at the Orion constellation, it's top right. Or top left. Top left, sorry.
Okay, yeah, I know the belt. I have issues with that. I have issues with that too.
Alnitak, Alnilam,
and Mintaka.
Mintaka.
Yes. Yes. Oh, we forgot one more. The Murther.
The Ginzo. The Murther. Yes. Oh my gosh. So the Murther are from the Tau Ceti system. And they are we can call them tall white as well, because they have very pale skin. So they are grays, very tall, clear eyes, same again, no hive consciousness, it's individual consciousness. Murther, they are extremely advanced spiritually. You could compare them at the level of spiritual evolution, same as the Andromedans or the Arcturians, same level. The Murther are scientists. They are an extremely advanced culture, very wise. They have elongated face and very human nose, human mouth, like us, but bigger skull. That's the Murther. Yeah, they're very nice. Okay. And the Ginvo, they are small, like a bit smaller, and they have brownish skin with like freckles or stains, darker brown stains, or a bit greenish. They have more of a human face as well. Eyes, it's every colors. They have this smell, the gray smell, though. It's particular that you're related to the grays. It's in your genes.
They couldn't help.
Yeah.
I believe they come from a Procyon.
Procyon.
The Ginvo and the
Ginvo
Murther.
Procyon.
Yeah, and the Murther are in Tau Ceti. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so we went over some of the gray species. Now I kind of want to segue into some human species. Now I actually had a conversation with my mom about the possibility of there being human extraterrestrials, and she was like, "No, that's too convenient." But I mean, it turns out you've actually came across a group from the Pleiades, but
yes.
What I want to do, I want to start to the closest system that's to us, Alpha Centauri, the star that NASA is claiming they just found. So let's start there, because there are human races there.
Yes, Alpha Centauri. I don't know. I never know how to pronounce that in English. So you have 3 star systems. You have Alpha A, Alpha B, and Proxima. So around Alpha B Centauri, you have Silo. Silo, it's they're very pale skin, blonde hair, even white. Silozi, they are very much based on crystal technology. They do everything based on crystal technology. They came on Earth, and they were one of the colonies in Atlantis. Atlantis was a multi-colony, and the one who stayed on Earth became the Telosians. They went underground, living underground. So that's the Silozi from Alpha Centauri, Alpha B, if I remember. Proxima Centauri, you have Meton. Meton, it's a big planet. It's also tall blonde people with high forehead
Mm-hmm.
and clear eyes. These are very pacifist people. They are involved a lot in the Galactic Federation. They have a lot of their ships here. What I want to say as well. Oh, these ones, they had once in a colony on Venus as well. So they migrated first from, I suppose it's Lyra, the Lyran system, to Venus, and then from Venus they went to Proxima Centauri. It's very interesting how the populations are moving in this galaxy. It's very interesting, bit confusing. And these ones resemble so much to the Umit from Volve 424, I think. Big forehead and long blonde head. It's very, very interesting. It must be same genes. So that's what I know. I have in my head Alpha Centauri. I maybe have forgotten so many. Oh, you have the Zygon as well. The Zygon. Where they are, I think it's Alpha Centauri as well. I don't remember.
No, the
or
Zygon.
Proxima.
No, the Zygon are in Groombridge 34.
Oh. You're very good. You're very good.
I love your book. I love your book.
Thank you.
Yes, but the Zygon of Groombridge 34.
Okay. So I mistaken. Yes. So here we go. Centaurian. Proxima Centauri Meton. Oh, Beta Centauri. You have the Dal. Beta. Oh yes, you have Alpha A and Alpha B. Proxima Centauri. You have also Beta Centauri, which is not part of this triple system. It's another star system that is on its own, Beta Centauri. So you have triple star system, Alpha A, Alpha B, Proxima. That's one group. And then you have another far away, Beta Centauri. It's on its own. So that the Dal, it's a blonde, tall blonde as well, colony from the Lyran system, I suppose. Yeah. Always forget about them. They're very secretive. Yeah.
Yeah. I was reading your description about them, and they seem to keep everything in, and their system as well is well guarded as well.
Yes. Yes, they don't want to get involved in troubles.
Yeah, it was kind of similar to the Hyadians. The Hyadian.
Oh yes, the Hyadians. Yes.
The human.
Yes. Yes, they don't want to get involved as well too much.
Now, I had a question. About the Hyadians in particular. We're gonna get to the Pleiades in a minute, but I was reading that some of there were a few Pleiadians and people from the Ahel group that migrated to the Hyades in particular. Has Thorhan ever mentioned any group or anybody from the Hyades in particular, or it just stays as is? They don't really know too much about their culture or what they're doing.
Funnily, he never mentions them. Because the Hyadians, they don't really get involved in what's happening in our star system. So I haven't seen or heard about Hyadian people on the ships upstairs. They must be very out of this, Oh yeah, no, you're right. He never speaks about them. Never. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Did he say anything about because there's a Ahel group in Aldebaran? Did he say anything about that group as well? Because I was reading the book and he just it was just like a sentence, and that was that. I was like, well,
yes, in Taurus constellation, there's you have the oh, here we go, Jadaya Hill, that's an Ahel group. That Aldebaran, it's very mixed. There's a lot of people living there. In Aldebaran, you have people who are nice and pacifist and don't want to get involved in anything. And you have others who are working with the Dark Alliance. Some humanoids involved with the Dark Fleet, that as well. So yes, you have the so it's the Jadaya Hill. They are very they stay away from the Jadaya Hill. They are struggling because they want to stay away also from to be involved with the Dark Fleet, who is very active in Aldebaran. So they are quite hassled and annoyed, but they are protected by the Federation, so they are a bit untouchable. And some Jadaya Hill probably individually may be involved, with the Dark Fleet. We don't know. The Dark Fleet is especially working with another group in the Aldebaran. They are related to the Anunnaki, these ones. I would look in my book. What's their name? The Jada. The Jada. They look like this.
Yes.
So yes, the Jada. So the Jada, they are involved with the Dark Fleet, and in Aldebaran as well, you have the headquarters of the Dark Fleet have moved to Aldebaran, and So we got rid of the Dark Fleet in our star system, but we haven't overcome the Dark Fleet. We just got rid of them from our star system. They're well annoying, well active, and everywhere else.
That's a shame.
And Aldebaran is the headquarters.
That's really a shame, because I live in the, because I'm in Miami, so I'm in the southern hemisphere, so I can, the Taurus constellation it's very easy to see, and the Aldebaran is the easiest star, one of the easiest stars to spot down here, and then when you point your telescope at it and binoculars, it's really a magnificent looking star. I didn't know that. I knew that there some dark fleet stuff going on, but I didn't know they didn't move. They moved, their outpost Aldebaran. That's a shame.
But you have the Jadaya Hill, who are amazing, and you have another group of beings who are of a higher density. What's their name? The Jadai Nemesis. They are light being. So they are very beautiful and wonderful people in Aldebaran too. It's not only the Dark Fleet. It's a very mixed and interesting star system. Yeah.
Would you say the race that you just mentioned? Would you say that those beings are similar to the Andorians and the Antares, star?
Oh yeah, the Andorians, the Antori. Yes, they are. They have a very much higher density, but their body is like translucent material. It's not especially light being, because you are solid in every density, but you may be made with different materials than flesh and bones. And these ones, the Antori or Andorians in Antares system, their skin is translucent and luminescent, and they glow. Incredible. I've never seen one. I'd love to see one. I really love that.
It actually sounds like a fantastic experience.
I'd like to. I'm gonna ask Thorhan. I want to meet an Andorian.
Speaking of Thorhan, would you like to get into the Pleiadian colonies, because I know that there are colonies there as well.
Yeah, their colonies play. So the Pleiades. The
Mm-hmm.
Pleiades, it's colonies. There's no indigenous people in the Pleiades because all the star systems in the
Mm-hmm.
Pleiades have been terraformed, because the Pleiades is a very young star system. It's a no, sorry, cluster of stars, a very very young. So after the Lyran Wars,
Mm-hmm.
the Lyran star systems were attacked by the reptilians, the Sicars. The
Mm-hmm.
all the people left in arcs. It's bringing with them samples of all their DNAs of their animals and plants and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they found homes everywhere. And the Pleiades was already testing ground for terraforming. And it turned out that, well, we're going to go there finally, and we're going to terraform. So they lived in their arcs for a while, the time to terraform planets. Because there was no planets there. It was star information in the making, young stars. So they now there are hundreds of planets inhabited in the Pleiades, but at the start,
Mm-hmm.
the original two star systems were what we call Taygeta and what we call Alcyon, and then there's been Taygeta was the first one, the more the easiest to terraform
Mm-hmm.
planets around, and then they spread out all in the cluster. So there are four races of Pleiadians. You have the
Mm-hmm.
Ahil, who are tall blonde, very tall, muscular and clear eyes, very wide, larger eyes, high cheekbones, all blonde. You can find brown hair, but it's more rare. Then you have the Tal. Tal look like human Caucasians, like me. Totally could be a Tal, Caucasian with brown hair,
Mm-hmm.
brown eyes. You have the Nor. Nor, they are like giants. Nor are very interesting because they are like 3 meters high. They're
Mm.
very tall, between 2.5 to 3 meters high. I don't know
They're
in feet
huge.
how it does. I have a little list. I tell you exactly now in a few minutes. So I say 9 feet, 9 feet tall.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's huge, and they're blonde and they can have red hair. Some colonies have red hair, and some Nor colonies of red hair have colonized Earth in the past, and they were called the red hair giants. So that's them. And you have that's three, and the fourth, it's a higher density light beings,
Mm-hmm.
also living there. That's for the humans. Then you have non-humans. You have a pacifist race of reptilians. And you have now there's a colony there. There's a culture in the Pleiades.
Mm-hmm.
They are not active anymore on Earth. They've redrawn. So I wasn't really told a lot about them.
Mm.
They look like Native American Indians on Earth
Kind of like,
with dark. Sorry.
kind of like, so kind of similar to the Armani a little bit, or not like that.
Yes, like the Aramani. Yes, like the Aramani.
Okay.
Yes, but with a broader nose, a little bit broader, and dark black eyes, a bit, and really tall and well built. I don't remember the names, these ones, but yeah, the Aramani, yes, they are. They look really like them. Yeah, it's true. Maybe they're
Mm-hmm.
probably related. I think the Aramani come from the Tal. They have
Mm-hmm.
changed the skin color because of the different composition of their star, the star where they went to live. And the skin color, in fact, is determined by the radiation of the star.
Mm.
And it was interesting to because you protect yourself, you create more melanin or not if you don't need to. What is interesting is that they breed within each other. They have a lot of hybrids. You never know who
Mm-hmm.
is who. Now you find people with like I don't know, white skin and and red eyes or black skin and green eyes. Where you come from? Oh, my parent was hybrid of that and that, and my mother was hybrid of that and that. So you don't know at the end. But originally, one planet, it's one species, it's one blood group. What's interesting, it's on Earth, it's so diversified.
Yes, it is.
People, that is the proof that we've been mixed with different colonies of extraterrestrials. That's why we look all different on Earth. And Earth is like a genetic laboratory. And we are very interesting genetically for all these people. That's why. Yeah.
24 cedar races, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
24?
So yes, now you have these people from out of this galaxy, the Intergalactic Confederation, the Seeders. They call themselves the Seeders, or the Founders, or the Guardians, but more or less the Seeders. They're a group of 24 intergalactic cultures, and they are working at spreading life and maintaining life, looking after it. They brought human genome in this galaxy. Yeah.
Right. Speaking of human genome, there's one more group of one more human group. This is a very spectacular group. Alex is very familiar with this group, the Andromedans. Can you talk a little bit about the Andromedans and their appearance, and a little bit about their culture and what makes them different from the the Ahel and the Tallwell? I understand that they were a civilization that came from Vega, and they just migrated to Andromeda, but they're just different. You want to talk about the Andromedans?
They are different. They're special. Let's say. They've evolved because their physical appearance changed from more human looking because of also their star and chemical composition of the atmosphere. They have blue skin, so they are very tall. They grew taller, quite tall, very tall. Like maybe you can have like from 8 to 9, 8. How much is 8 feet in meters? 240. Oh, maybe less. Like from 7 to 8 feet, 8 feet, 7 to 8 feet. That's the Andromedan. Blue skin, quite pale, not dark blue, but pale skin, clear eyes. Women have hair. Some men can have hair, depends on the race, the breed. They have variations among them. Larger skull, always very fit and thin as well. Not thin, no, I would say more fit. Perfect bodies. They are humans. They are humanoids. They live in. When we say Andromedans, it's how we call them because their star system is in the Andromeda constellation, not the galaxy.
Okay.
The galaxy, the Andromeda galaxy is visible. It's a galaxy that is visible throughout the Andromedan constellation. That's why we call it the Andromeda galaxy.
Okay.
But that's the thing. They are from a star system called Titawin. They call themselves the Zene or Zenate. I think it's a grammatical difference because it's wonderful. Alex is told Zenate, I'm told Zene. There's just a letter difference, and it's wonderful, because then you wow, it's maybe probably a Pleiadian will pronounce Zene, Zenate will pronounce Zenate. I don't know. So they are very highly evolved spiritually. That's the point. And they created the Andromedan Council, Council, or the Zenatean Alliance. It's an alliance or council of the most evolved races in this galaxy. The Arcturians are part of it. Well, the Ororai, the Murther, the higher evolution in spirituality in this galaxy. They are the Andromedan Council, and the Zenate lead this council. And they are good power also, you know. They have a lot of technology, and so that's who they are.
Yeah, I was watching one of Alex's video, and he was describing his experience on the ship. And while I was reading your book, Thorhan was talking about uh, different ships and different navigation systems, and he in your book he specifically talked about these ships that are planet sized,
Mm.
but they go but they go but they go really fast, and the ship is driven by consciousness, which I which I thought it was a which was which was so cool. Um, Very cool, interesting stuff, and the makeup of the ship. Um, I have so many questions to ask all the navigators and pilots and stuff on how these aircraft really work. That would be something I would be asking. But moving on, let's talk a little bit about the Starseed, the Starseed
Mhm.
program. Now, I had a Starseed reader on last week. If you guys are keeping up with my videos, uh, we talked about the different types of Starseeds, but we really didn't get into uh, too deep into the Starseed program and what that is, and the star nations and the races behind that. So, can you give some insight on the Starseed program?
So the Starseed program, which the ETs call the Envoy program, those who have been sent, it's something that started after the Orion Wars. There was a big war in the Orion zone
Mm-hmm.
between the Greys and local populations, and there was a rebellion, etc. It's a long story. There was a council, the Council of Five,
Mm-hmm.
very positive council, very spiritual in the Orion zone, who decided to, after the war, after the Greys had won, they decided to try to help the new population who were going to be invaded by the Greys, the Orion Greys.
Mm-hmm.
So militarily, it wasn't possible. Nobody can beat the Greys. It's very, very difficult. Even the Galactic Federation is struggling. You know, it's very hard. They are very, very good, the Greys, with all these war things and technology. So
Mm-hmm.
the trick was to the Council of Five had this idea
Mm-hmm.
to create a program of volunteers, people who would go on the worlds which are threatened by Greys and incarnate in the population.
Mm-hmm.
And when the moment comes, they would awake and fight the fight against the Greys,
Mm-hmm.
trying to open the eyes of the population that they must not let themselves be enslaved by the Greys. Resistance coming from the inside. And that's what the Starseed program is. That's how it has started. So,
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned it's so hard to beat to beat a gray. If you just like look at the picture of some of these grays, like they don't look for me. Yeah, they got an evil face, but it's kind of like this 4 foot, 7 foot slanky thing. Why are we having so many issues with it? But it's, it's kind of
yeah.
like but that
Yeah.
that just came to my mind because I can definitely see somebody looking at a picture of a gray and them going, why are we being bullied by these little
Yeah.
by these creatures? Um, really
Yeah.
really interesting. I know we touched a little bit on it during the video because we made hints on alliances and federations and stuff, but I want to get a little a deeper dive into it. So people are new to this. They don't really know about the alliances that are happening in our galaxy. We touched mostly on the benevolent alliances. I want you to circle back to that, but you did a video where Thor said you have to see and know your enemies. Let's start with the malevolent alliances that are out there, and let's just get the people
Yeah.
used to what that is.
Yes. So we've been speaking about the Orion Greys, the Nebu, and the group they formed. So that's one. They formed a larger group, the Nebu, the Alliance of the Six. So who are the six? It's the Greys of Orion, the tall Greys of Orion, the Nebu. The second, you have the Mitra from Galaxy Andromeda. You have the Keely Tokurt from constellation Vela. You have the Sicars, the Draco-reptilians, and you have Zeta Reticuli, Greys. So that's the Alliance of the Six. They are managed by the Nebu. Then that's one group and another, but connected. Then that's it. Then you have another big group, which is what we call the Draco-reptilians. They call themselves Sicar. They are reptilians, and they are very aggressive culture. They work for their own, for dominion, and they look more for profit. The Greys will look for territory and power and to grow the hive. The Greys will work to grow the hive. The reptilians will work on growing their profit and profit and power. So that's another group. You have the Dark Fleet. The Dark Fleet is a group with that's bad humans. The former Nazis, the Fourth Reich, those who went to Antarctica after the last World War, and they allied with the Sicars, Draco-reptilians. So that's the Dark Fleet. On their own, they are quite powerful. They have their headquarters in Aldebaran. Now, there is something called the Dark Alliance. It's the alliance of these three. The Orion, the Nebu Orion, with the group of the six, the Draco-reptilian Sicar, and the Dark Fleet. So these three together is very, very annoying. It's what is called the Dark Alliance. And then you have different other groups who are less important. You have the Corporate of Altair. They are traders. They are quite annoying as well. You have the Ashtar Alliance, not Galactic Command, the Ashtar Alliance, which is it was before a military group from Sirius B system, but it has been coerced by reptilians. So now it's working with the reptilians. I think that's all about the bad ones. There are more, but that's what we need to know with Earth.
Okay. Now, I just want to touch on something. You mentioned Nazi Germany. So for someone who may be really, into history, or may have a knowledge of the Nazis, can you go into a little bit of detail of how, if you know it, of how the Nazis became involved with the Dark Fleet?
In fact, the Dark Fleet is the name of the involvement and what the finalization of it. how they became involved, they were approached by reptilians quite a long time ago. And reptilians have been here all the time on Earth. They always have been there. And they saw the potential of a growing power, and that it would really entice into evil to build a very powerful evil empire, human empire on Earth. And they gave them technology. They were starting to make ships. It has been stopped at the right moment because the history would have turned if they were able to have time to make more ships. So that's then when World War II was over, these dark people we call the Nazi or the Third Reich, we call it the breakaway Nazi civilization. They became also called the Fourth Reich. And they went to Antarctica, and there the reptilians held Antarctica. They were having all the caves, and they were living there, and they welcomed them. And they worked together there, and they create the Dark Fleet. Well, yes, they created the Dark Fleet. That was the start of it. Then, the headquarters moved recently to Aldebaran, but before it was Antarctica.
Interesting. So it's nice. It's nice to know that things that are harmful to us, are not just greys and reptilians, but it's nice to know that we even have people our own that'll do some very nefarious things and yeah, it's sad. But let's get to the benevolent groups.
Yes. So the most prominent benevolent group in this galaxy, it's the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Now, there's something interesting about this name that needs to be precise. Galactic Federation of Worlds. It's the English translation of an alien language. Okay, it can be translated differently. Ora Nataru Shari means reunion or alliance or federation. Okay, Ora a group. Nataru is the name of the galaxy, so galactic, and Shari of worlds or of world can be translated also by of planets, of cultures, so, and federation can also be translated by confederation. So that's why people just are confused, but in fact it's the same thing. Either that you hear Galactic Federation of Worlds, Galactic Confederation, it's the same thing, or Federation of Planets, it's the same thing. Well, it needs to have galactic in a Galactic Federation or Confederation of Planets. It's the same, you have the three names, the three words, galactic or galaxy, worlds or planet, and reunion, the third one. So that's it. That's something I need to precise. The term Galactic Federation of Light doesn't exist. It's because of light is not a good translation, so it's confusion.
Okay.
Now we have them, so they are very big. They maintain peace and balance in the galaxy. Then you have the Andromedans, the Andromedan Council or the Zenatean Alliance. We've spoken about this alliance of highest spiritually evolved culture, looking after the balance also in the galaxy, but the energies, the frequencies, that all the frequencies in the galaxy are well. And you have a third group, the Council of Five, which was before the Council of Nine. They were created in the Orion Belt, star Al-Nilam, central star. These were the ones who are at the idea originally of the Starseed program. They are very benevolent people. So now it's the Council of Five. And there are so many others. But these are the three that we need to know. In fact, it's the three most important in the galaxy, and the three that are involved in our story now on Earth. And the three together have allied and they call themselves the Alliance, or the Alliance. So it's not the Light Alliance or the Alliance of Light, it's the Alliance. They call them the Alliance. And there's something else, is the Earth Alliance. That's something different. The Earth Alliance, it's the Alliance of Earth, White Hat military, and mainly US Navy, and military from the Galactic Federation of Worlds. So that's something different. Earth Alliance, different from the Alliance. It's the alliance of all the good people together. That's put all their resources together to fight the enemy.
I want to touch a little bit on the Earth Alliance, because I don't even think of course, you know, we know about it, but some people don't really know about an Earth Alliance, or some people don't even know why we have an Earth Alliance. Can you give us a little bit of some detail of what the Earth Alliance is, and what the Earth Alliance are fighting here on Earth, because we are on Earth, so it'd be great,
yes,
to know that stuff.
Because there's the Mars Alliance as well. It's the same story. The Earth Alliance was created in 1954 when President Eisenhower signed an agreement with the Galactic Federation. So a very small program started secretly within the US Navy. US Navy working with extraterrestrial humanoids from the Galactic Federation of Worlds to start to create in secret a defense fleet and defense resource against the Greys, the Nebu, the Orion Greys. That was to help Earth prepare to fight them. And a fleet was developed, which later on was named Solar Warden, secret space program Solar Warden. And then, it didn't stay just the US Navy. A part of the US Air Force joined, and now it's all over the world. The Artemis Accord have signed our coalition of different space programs that are not secret anymore, all international, and they work with the Galactic Federation. It's the start of Starfleet, the Star Trek Starfleet. And now it's we are at that to be told that the Artemis Accords work with the Galactic Federation. We are nearly there. It takes time to do that, to reveal people. They have their plan. So that's the Earth Alliance.
That's
and
good.
They fight to expel the reptilians, the Greys. Yeah, in the dumps, the underground. That was the soldiers of the Earth Alliance.
Yeah, that's applaud them for that. That happened. Wasn't that a year ago? When they made it was in announcement, I believe, came from Thor Han, and he was saying how we got rid of that element there. But to my understanding, we still have some human stuff to deal with. So people that, of course, there's only so much the average everyday citizen can do. But what are some things that we can do to assist this alliance for a better future for our planet? What are some things that we can do as everyday Earth people?
Stop fighting among each others. That's the first thing. We need to unite to make their work easier, because we need now to do the last step, the extraterrestrial threat has been taken care of by the extraterrestrials. Now we need to take care of our human problem. The Earth Alliance works at getting us rid of the elites, but they're still there because these elites, because it's our process of evolution to stand up and learn how to say no. No, I do not consent, not to be used or controlled by evil people. So it's our process to learn how to do that, and they want so much. That's what our ET allies want us to do. That humanity stands up, and we are doing it. That's not the problem. That's great, and it has started. So once we've really standing up, we've really stood up, and in our power, sovereignty, human rights, and etc. And we are united, and we stop, arguing with each other. Well, and I don't mean at human level, because we're human. You're going to argue with your neighbor. That's normal. That's natural. But I'm talking about minorities, countries, things like that, groups. That needs to stop. We are manipulated by the
media,
but the media, the deep state, to create arguments and to fight each other, because while you are fighting, we are not solving our problems, which is standing up against the tyranny and everything. So we need to stop playing their games of fighting against each other, because they know very well how to manipulate us, especially by the media. We need to do that, and that's the best way we can help the soldiers of the Earth Alliance, making their job easier and faster, quicker, because as long as we will fight with each other, oh my God, that's gonna last.
Right. Somebody asked, have you seen signs of aliens in classic organizations? So you actually, because I believe you told this story already, but you did a dig in Egypt. Did you find anything of extraterrestrial origin, or did you come close to finding it, or you just don't know?
I came close once to we unearthed a wall with carvings on it, and there were these. It will represent an army coming back home. Egyptian people. They took prisoners. They were coming back from Mesopotamia. It was a very exotic campaign, and they brought people, foreigners, and then prisoners. And then there was these tall beings. They were at least half size, like taller, 8 feet tall, maybe, very tall, and with elongated skulls. And I went, what the hell is that? And they were walking with them, with the prisoners. I went, that's not human. That's not humans. And in the hieroglyphs, they were just called the priests. That's all. No name, no other name. So that can mean anything. I went, that really looked like extraterrestrial. So that was my really the closest I came to that.
Okay, nice. I just remembered you mentioned the Anunnaki earlier.
Yes.
Now, for people that read, especially a lot of Zechariah Sitchin's books, but even if you just do a little bit of research of early creation, you just see Anunnaki pop up. Based off of my understanding, from how you and Thor described the species, you actually described them to be grays. They just look like
human,
like yes. Humans. Are they because I was reading some books about the Anunnaki. So they appear to be, they're not really I wouldn't even consider them to be all the way bad, but they're not like good neither. Is did Thorhan have a way of expressing how their relationship with the Anunnaki was, and how the Anunnaki's relationship with other galactic nations were?
Well, that's very interesting. The Anunnaki, they're a lot like us. And you described it very well, saying they're not really all bad, they're not really all good, because they're like us. And they had a
Mm-hmm.
war, among each other. They parted into two factions, the faction of Enki, the faction of Enlil, and the faction of Enlil left, Enki left, sorry. Well, now there is a faction of Enlil, the ones who were working at enslaving humanity,
Mm-hmm.
who stayed here, and they are working with they have been working with the Cabal. They are also working with the reptilians, different species of reptilians, not good. They always have been here. So the Galactic Federation never really interact with them. It's their enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have the faction of Enki and his people. They lost this conflict a very long time ago. They left, and they went into another galaxy or dimension. They were not here until they came back recently in October. Well, not even. I had a contact with an Anunnaki in September 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I was very shocked. It was just before the Cedars came back in our star system, the
Mm-hmm.
Intergalactic Confederation.
Mm-hmm.
So the faction of Enki came back at the same moment. I think they're working together
Mm-hmm.
for the greater good of humanity. Enki always wanted to liberate human race. He always believed in our potential, and he's a scientist, and he's still alive,
Mm-hmm.
because these people, they know that they are immortal. They know how
Mm-hmm.
jump from body to body to body. They prolong their lives very much, several thousands of years. And when the body just gives up, they get another one. The soul, the consciousness is
Mm-hmm.
transferred in a younger clone of themselves. And they can go on forever, ever, ever, and keep their memory intact. So that's what they do. So yeah, Enki is back, and people say it's impossible. It's so old. That's so long time ago. You say, yeah. What can I
Mm-hmm.
say? They are immortal. They know how to do that. So the soul is immortal. So when you know how to jump from body to body without losing your memory,
Mm-hmm.
without passing throughout the process of death and birth, yeah, you're immortal.
Yeah,
you know?
the Egyptians um, were infatuated with with the with the afterlife, and I kind of find it's I don't think it's a coincidence that the regions in the Middle
No.
East are so close. Um, it's so close, and if you really read that history and stuff, and you tie it in with extraterrestrial stuff, it's almost like it's a puzzle, coming together. So you said
Yeah.
you've seen and and Anunnaki. So can you because I want that. So can you give like a visual representation of that being in particular? Does it look like just like the being you drew in the book, or was it?
Yeah, it looked a bit like this, but way older. I made a drawing of him. It would be difficult to find it.
Mm-hmm.
He he looked human, but very old, very old, very wrinkled.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Larger skull, bigger eyes, but the eyes were with a pupil, not black as I show in the book. And very tall, very slim.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say yes, maybe 8 foot tall. Yes, 8 feet tall, something like that. Very tall, title. Yes, that's how he was, and the clothes were like a jumpsuit, but very close to the body, silver, and he was just floating in the air, and very thin, very thin. And at one stage, which was very interesting, he developed wings, but it was not wings properly with feathers. It was plasma wings. It was very interesting, like a protection or something grew from his back, like this. It was very impressive.
Did he? Could
Yeah.
you tell? Could you tell what dimension he was that he came from, or you just saw him and no.
I couldn't tell the dimension. It just materialized in my bedroom.
In your bedroom?
So, yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
interesting. I know that had to be an experience.
Oh yeah. Oh my. It traumatized me. I mean, I'm used to contact with ETs, but one like that I'd never seen before, and the power was quite amazing. And he was just telling me that he was going to protect me, that they were back, and he's protecting me for the job I have to do, and I thank him because I need it. And at the same time arrived the Intergalactic Confederation, the Cedars. So I think they are working together.
That's good. That's good. So we're going to close out. So we're living, we're living in a time where people are kind of, they're not so sure where life is going to go. They're either not too sure, they're confused, or they're scared to death. Nothing is going to ever be the same. It kind of feels like, especially people who may submit to a certain type of religion or a philosophy, and they may just feel like they're alone. But from the conversation we had, we're not. What would you say? What would you say to the people who don't have a sense of hope? What what would you think? What would you think that Thorhan would say would say to people who just don't have a sense of hope and that feel alone?
That you didn't come into this existence now in this time to sign up for a world tyranny and end your life in horrible misery. You came here to make a change. You came here because you can make a change, and it's all of us, each of us. Making a change doesn't mean going and try to assassinate an evil leader or make a political change. Or making a change is first changing yourself. Become somebody who's nice, who's helpful, respectful, and non-judgmental. Then spread this around you. Respect, non-judgment, acceptance of the choices of everyone else. And this is changing the world. It's very simple. You only need to do that. Become a nice, respectful, helpful person and teach that. That's how you change the world. And if we all do that, oh my God. What Thorhan says to me is that he said to me once I was desperate. There was so much. It just fell on my shoulder. I saw the atrocity going on in the world and people suffering, dying of hunger, of cold, of loneliness, of all this sickness. He said, we wouldn't be here if we thought there was no hope. if these people who fight to defend us, they also put their lives at risk. They die, they sacrifice themselves for a greater cause. They wouldn't do that if they knew it was doomed, they would be out. No, they kept fighting, kept on fighting, because they know what the future is. And I've seen it. They show me the future. And it's a future where everything is rebalanced on Earth, when everybody has food, shelter, and a decent life.
Yes.
And only that, food, shelter, decent life, that's all we need to be happy and to build these better worlds. And we will have that, because there will be no more deep state who starve people, who put people in misery, who does that. They'll be gone. There will be free energy. And with free energy, the food costs so less, nearly free, things like that, So keep hope, and keep hope. And you see, you don't see the sun rise until it rises, but it's there, it's going to rise. So keep hope, keep fighting by acts of kindness.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I don't think there any other way to say it. And before we close out, there is a picture of what's her name, Myra, in your book.
Myra.
Is that a real picture?
No, I tried to, I wouldn't be able to take photos of them, because it wouldn't work. So I'm an artist, and I do photo composition and artwork computerized. So I try to reconstruct the faces of my contacts, and so it looks like her. It really looks like her, but it's just artwork.
Oh, okay. That's a really good painting right there. That's
Thank you.
That you really have a gift. You really have a gift for art.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really do have a gift for it. Um, this was nice. And nice doing this interview with you. It's a pleasure. I hope that the people listening enjoyed it. I hope they got some information about extraterrestrials and what's out there. And hey, if you want the book, the link to the book will be in the description box. If you want to know more about Elena's story, and you want to read more into the alien species, you can. There's a book for it. It will be in the description box. I'm Noel Greene, and thank you guys for listening so much. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for everything. Thank you, everyone.